Good afternoon, Philippe Vanrie. Welcome to the University Industry Interaction Conference. Welcome to Amsterdam. It's a pleasure for us to have you here, so thank you very, very much for your attendance, and thank you very much for your keynote speech. So now we have some questions for you, and according to your expertise managing a network of business innovation centers in Europe, we'd like to ask you, how do you see the roles of this center in Europe? Which is the role within the regional innovation in Europe?
Well, the role is very clear and well focused. Somebody has to transform ideas of new enterprises, ideas of new startups into reality. And there is a function that needs to be fulfilled by someone in the supply chain that range from the generation of ID to the growth of technology-based gazelles. In the middle, there are a series of stakeholders who have to do their job, and the business and innovation centers at the middle are essential to pre-incubate, incubate, and accelerate projects of innovation-based startups. It means, of course, that they are not working alone. They are working hand in hand with universities, which is one of the main providers of ideas and startups and spin-offs, and their specialized instruments, university industry liaison offices, tech transfer offices, and entrepreneurship center that might be empowered by universities. So that's really the role of BICS, Business Innovation Center, is to provide hands-on support all along the incubation chain, from what we call the pre-incubation, before the startup is created, until the post-incubation, when the startup is growing.
Okay. It seems that they are involved in a very complex environment. They have to be related to different stakeholders. But at the same time, they are all related to each other through a network. What do you think are the benefits of all these BICs, or business innovation centers, to be in a network?
Well, indeed, you said first that no one can perform alone in the desert. So it's very important that the BICs, but the other instrument as well, has to be well, smartly positioned in the territorial regional ecosystems for providing support. But in the same time, if they are alone, if they are a unique case in territory A, it's very difficult. So the power of the network is, one, to create a common standards for delivering and performance. So it means that the network together is building, is updating the model, the operating model, is of course essential for benchmarking, to give to each management team of BICs and incubators indication on where they are in their performance, in their standards, in their compliance, in their efficiency compared to others. It's a benchmarking culture, and of course the collective, collaborative network is very important to create collaborative projects, to do new things together. It might be collaborative projects under the Commission umbrella, or business-to-business soft lending partnership to help internationally profiled startups who needs to go to another territory, or simply to discover new tools, new applications. You'd better to do it in group and not alone. That's, for me, the main drive of the network. And last but not least, a network is essential to build collectively the reputation towards the end users, the private sectors, and possibly the investors, and to build the reputation towards the public sector, because the missions of BICS is a mission of private interest, because the end users, the beneficiaries, are entrepreneurs, but it's also a mission of public interest, because they are building a vibrant ecosystem that in turn creates startups who grow, gazelles who run fast and create wealth on the territory in which they operate. We believe that at the current moment of economic and social recession, this is absolutely essential, that governments are pushing this kind of instruments in close partnership with the other major stakeholders, such as, for example, universities, and especially universities that have a strategy to become more entrepreneurial.
Okay, thank you very much. We've seen that you have a very challenging job because you are in the middle of all this ecosystem, of all these stakeholder groups. What would you say that is the most challenging part of your job?
Of my job? Well, the borders of our universe are constantly expanding. Until recently, we could live alone in Europe without paying too much attention to what was happening elsewhere on the planet. Today, it's impossible. Even at our rather small scale, we have to consider models that are deployed elsewhere in Taiwan, in Russia, in South Africa, in Brazil, of course in the States, in Israel, or even in emerging, developing territories, which are also giving us a lot of lessons on the entrepreneurship dynamics. And for example, in some countries in Black Africa, the incubation dynamics, the entrepreneurship dynamics is very strong, and there might be a reason why Chinese are interested by Black Africa. So we should be also more interested by what happens in developing countries. That's the first challenging task. The second is that the barriers between the actors in the ecosystem are more and more fuzzy. So it means people and players like us and players like the others have to constantly focus on their core competence, on their core businesses. The challenge is, yes, to be smart and specialized, but understanding globally all the environment in which we operate. That's the most difficult thing. And last but not least is the pressure of the market, of the end users. That's the new frontier where all the tech transfer protocols, the technology startups protocols, the university industry valorization protocols are a bit perturbated, are inspired by the prominent role that end users are making in this environment. And I think it's a good news because it means end users, the market, has a unique chance to influence and to give a guidance to academic and public sector policymakers. And university top managers and public authorities top managers have to take that opportunity, not as a threat, but as a fantastic opportunity to reconciliate what we do with real life down on the ground.
Okay, thank you very, very much. And my last question, it's the question that I'm asking all the keynote speakers. So how do you see the university-industry relationships? How do you see innovation, in this case, in our context, in Europe, in 10 years?
Well, we have, or you have, to stop, or to definitely stop entering into the debate between fundamental and applied research. That's not the problem. The problem and the trends I see in the future is that knowledge leaders like universities and university industry offices, they have to capture the trends of non-science-based innovation. I'm not saying they have to abandon the science-based focus, but they have to become champions and engines for services innovation, downstream application innovations, social innovation, all those kind of areas of innovation where futurologists are saying indeed that, and not only because we are in recession, but because it's a massive social movement that spread innovation by all means to all. It doesn't mean that innovation is not a selective process. Innovation will stay a selective champion process, even in social innovation fields. Innovation stays something competitive and for which You have to show that you are performing well, that you are distinguish yourself, that you are taking the lead on some market niche. But the barriers of classical innovation vision by academics, for example, will more and more be more open to non-pure science fields. And who knows, those social service software application innovators will come back in turn to more for searching for more fundamental needs in their technology models, in their intellectual property, in the fundamental layers of their middleware, for example, if we talk about software industry. So don't worry. The strength of the European university landscape is there and will be useful, but we need entrepreneurs, we need firms who grow, who accumulate profit and equities, and who invest in upstream research thanks to downstream successful sales.
Thank you very, very much for your words. Your advice is really appreciated. So thanks for your time as well. And we hope that you have a very great experience here within our conference. Thank you very much, Philippe Vanrie.